I'm Bailey. I'm from Nova Motorcycles, and today I've been asked to talk about how I got into racing and why and all that. So I started at Nova Motorcycles in 2016. I just wandered in the door and they kept me. Um, and that summer, Sarah had a couple races. I went to one of them. I went to New Hampshire Motor Speedway and just to spectate, and it was pretty cool. I don't actually remember a whole ton standing out to me about that day, but it was fun. I didn't have any inkling that I would race myself, and so a year kind of goes by or whatever. It's probably May or June of 2017, and one of our other friends who became and worked as a mechanic at Nova for a couple years, he was getting into it, and his friend, she was going to get her license. I think it was the August event in Canaan, at Canaan. She was going for her license, and a pair of leathers just kind of like fell into my lap, and I basically just got inspired by Sarah throwing his race machines together and getting ready and everything, and Andy had his program kind of like starting, and they were both very encouraging. And Sarah was like, "There is a busted up 350 Honda 350 twin in the basement." So yeah, I rolled that thing out and kind of did the bare minimum, like I got it running on two cylinders most of the time. It still had like, the points, the stock coils from the 70s, but it had already been stripped of pretty much everything. It had the ratty SCL tank on it that had been painted a couple times, and it had a red skull decal on it, and I think there was just like a piece of plywood for the seat. It was, I think, Sarah or Pete had gotten it off of a friend who just like rode it around Boston a couple times until it died. So, anyways, I got that together, and it was within like 3 weeks that I got this bike running well enough to take it out on the track, which just mostly involved like shoring up the front end, putting race tires on, putting this seat on, which barely fit. It still has my my number tags on it and everything. Um, Safety wiring a bunch of stuff, making sure it wouldn't totally fall apart and that it ran somewhat decent. But it was super loud, so I didn't get a lot of a lot of time to run it before getting it on the track. So my actual rookie race, which is you go through the race school, which is basically a comprehensive track walk. You talk about it, you talk about the rules, and then the next morning you have a 4-lap race that if you don't fall down and you pass the finish line, you get your race license. That's all it is. Um, I didn't actually get to take my bike out because I couldn't get it to run on both cylinders. I ended up taking Sarah's Yetman, his 305, for my rookie race, and I got my license in August of 2017. And ever since then, it's been just steadily developing my bike and upgrading things bit by bit. My dad has been really helpful. He's got like has a lifelong racing background, and a real passion for it. He's raced many different types of things: drag racing, kart racing, ice boat racing. I think at one point, other boat racing. I'm not I'm not here to talk about that, but he has been so helpful in helping me develop my race program. Not even like my bike as a machine, but helping me figure out what I'm going to need at the track for emergencies and what to have spares of, and how to organize things so things flow nicely. Because racing can be stressful, but it can also be like it doesn't have to be stressful when you've got your program kind of figured out. And so he's helped me kind of develop my bike also. Excuse me, I just had lunch. Um, yeah. So and now I still race a Formula 350 Honda. It's stock in the motor. I've this is my third motor. Yeah, not much going on there. The carbs are stock and everything. The general upgrades are like the 550 front end. I have aluminum rims on my wheels. I do have the GT 750 Water Buffalo front hub, the double-sided, double leading shoe, front brake, and I like that. It's heavy, but I love the braking that it gives me. And other than that, not a huge, and a PVL, crank fired ignition. That makes a big difference also. Those are some of the bigger upgrades that I have, but it's still, in the formula class, so I'm not pushing much more horsepower than it would out of the box. But it's awesome. It's such a stable, reliable little bike. Anyone can hop on it and go have a good time. Yeah, I don't know. I love racing because it's fun. It's incredibly challenging. It's an incredibly emotional sport too. So much goes into it. Such highs and lows and everything. And I love that part of it. And I've learned a ton in these last couple of years. I plan to keep racing and keep track riding. I like doing track days too on my modern bike and taking my vintage bike to Tony's track days. Um, yeah, I just look forward to practicing more and racing with my friends. And yeah, if you have any questions about how to get into racing, you should contact us because it's, surprisingly accessible. And that's it. What? Oh, like and subscribe? Fuck. Like and subscribe, please. Thank you.